Alright guys, this next video is on calculating imputation credits. Now, I'm feeling a bit under the weather right now, so sorry if my voice is a little off in this video. So in previous exercises, like exercise 7D.5, where you've been working out tax on dividends, you've simply been given the imputation credit, and obviously you just take that away from the tax liability and you get the whether the shareholder owes tax or is owed tax. Now, you may be asked to actually work out what the imputation credit is, and it's easy to work it out as long as you know the dividend per share and the franking level of these dividends. Now, the formula is here. The imputation credit is calculated with these. It's the dividend paid times by 30 over 70. It is always 30 over 70 because this represents the company tax of 30 cents for every 70 cents of dividend. Okay, so it's always 30 over 70, don't change that. Then times by the franking level as a decimal. So the questions, or you will always know how much it is franked. Franking is shown as a percentage. So if it's fully franked, e.g. Fully franked is 100%. What would 100% be as a decimal? Jump the decimal place that many times, so it's 1. Fully franked is 100%, so 1 as decimal. And as normal, this franking level is always expressed as a percentage. So you convert it to a decimal for this kind of question. So we can get into the example now. Example, a company declares a dividend of 17 cents a share. Find the imputation credit received by an investor holding 1,500 shares in the company if the dividend is fully franked. So the imputation credit is div paid, dividend paid, which we still need to work out because we don't have straight up div paid. It's times by 30 over 70 times by, here it's fully franked, which means 100%, it's going to be times by 1. Dividend paid is the number of shares they have times by the number of, the dividend per share. So it would be 1,500 times by 0.17 in brackets times by 30, times by 1. So 1,500 times by 0.17, 255 times by 30 over 70 times by 1. Now be very careful when you're inputting on your calculator. If you just did 255, if you did 255 times by 30 divided by 70 times by 1, remember the calculator doesn't do BEDMAS. I don't think it would have an effect in this particular case, but just make sure if you've got something in brackets, which having a fraction line would always ensure, work that out first. Do 30 divided by 70 first. Then you've got that in your calculator, find the answer, it's like 0.42, blah, 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 okay? Then times it by 255, then times it by 1, so you would get the answer of 109.29 to 2 decimal places. So that's what the imputation credit would be if it was fully franked. What if it was 50% franked? 50% franked. So the company already paid half of the tax. The imputation credit, the only difference would be, so it would be imp credit is going to be, the div paid is going to be the same, 255 times by 30 over 70, all of that's the same. But times by, what is 50%? As a decimal, 0.5. So this time it's going to be, work out what 30 divided by 70 is first. Now times that by 255 times by 0.5. So the imputation credit when the company only pays half the tax is going to be half the imputation credit, $54.64 to 2 decimal places. Finally, what if it was 0% franked? So unfranked should be obvious right now. Anyway, if the company is paying no tax, then you're not going to get an imputation credit. But just to show that the formula works in all cases, it's 255 times by 30 over 70 times by, if they are unfranked, so no franking percentage, 0% is 0. And anything times by 0 is always going to equal 0. So no imputation credit because no tax has been paid. As you can see, it's a pretty simple calculation. You've got just a handful of exercises to do. They'll be very quick, and I will see you in the next video.